Give them full attention and ask clarifying questions. Remember, in asking the question, you use which kind of pronoun? Interrogative pronoun. You want them to talk. You want them to talk. You want them to talk. Give them full attention and ask them clarifying questions when necessary to ensure you grasp their perspective. Number 2, empathy. Show empathy by acknowledging and understanding the customer's challenge and concern. Empathetic communication helps to build rapport and trust. Clear and concise language. Use clear and concise language when communicating with your customers. Avoid jargons or technical terms that they may not be familiar with. Strive for simplicity and clarity in your messages. Adapt your audience. Tailor your communication style to your audience. Different men have different preferences for communication. Some prefer email. Some you must make a phone call. Some a WhatsApp will be fine. Understand. Some meeting them physically. In-person meeting is required. Understand their personal preferred preferences. Cultural sensitivity. In business trade, you often interact with clients from diverse background. In Nigeria, we have Chinese that are doing trade. We have Lebanese that are doing trade. We have Indians that are doing trade. We have different nationalities in Nigeria doing trade. Be sensitive to cultural differences in communication style, etiquette, and norms. Be sensitive. Provide regular updates. Keep your trade customer informed about progress of their transaction and any relevant changes. Progress. That means you have to be on top of the transaction. These are qualities that when you are the one providing the customer feedback, it's not the one following up. You are communicating with the customer that you are on top of the transaction. And that will help him also to minimize the issues he will have like memory and the like. Provide regular update. Be responsive. The customer send a mail. And after a day or two, no response. A day is even long, no response to the customer. And that's why we discussed all those things we discussed yesterday, memory and the like. The customer send a mail. Prompt response to inquiry. The customer can call you over the weekend. He might call you over the weekend. Why? Because of issues having with the transaction, issue at the call, whatever issue it is. Timely response. Even if you are unable to pick the call, send a message to them, ensure you return the call afterwards. Don't give the customer an impression that you are avoiding his call. Use technology effectively. Use tools like email, messaging app like WhatsApp, video conference to facilitate communication, especially when dealing with clients in different time zones. Maybe they are on vacation on the line. Clarify expectation. Define and communicate expectation regarding trade transaction and timeline and fees and responsibility. Avoid misunderstanding by ensuring that both parties have a shared understanding. Both parties, you and the customer, have a shared understanding. Clarify, define, and communicate expectation regarding transaction, timeline, and responsibility. Avoid misunderstanding and by ensuring that both parties have a clear understanding of the terms. Document agreement in writing. Now, let me say something about it. You know, sometimes the customer, there's a transaction ongoing, and the customer needs an amendment, and the customer calls to make a request for an amendment. Am I making sense? Are we together, please? Are we together, please? The customer calls to make a request for an amendment. Please, when the customer drops, send him a mail and ensure he responds to it. I've been in a situation as a banker that the customer called, make an amendment. If not for the fact that I was sending a mail, he was going to deny, he never told us that. But when he went to his mail and saw that the mail we sent, he acknowledged and confirmed, he relaxed. Apparently, he forgot what he called us to correct. But because we haven't sent a mail and said, sir, you said so and so and so, kindly confirm, so we can go ahead. And he confirmed. So he called, but if something happened, he needs to take a decision on his spot and he has to call with that decision. But he did not even remember. Because eventually when something happened in future and he realized that, but this is not what I told you to do. And but you called us to correct it. He said, no, I did not call you. And then we say, see the mail we sent and the response. And And then he said, okay, I think I forgot. So even though the customer called, ensure you document. Whenever possible, document agreement and important discussion with writing. This helps avoid miscommunication and provide reference point in case of dispute and questions. In case of dispute, in fact, we had a service when I was in the bank. The service says, provide your pro forma invoice. We will deliver your goods. Just give us your pro forma invoice. From pro forma invoice, we process your format, we process your PAN, we produce your LLC, we send document for clearing, we will clear the goods for you. And I was managing that service. And sometimes we do have issues, logistic issues that involve. But everything along the line, we send a mail to the customer and they respond. Whenever there are issues, they will now write a mail, a letter to us, claiming, wanting to claim from the bank. So I have to sit down with my mail and go and pick up all the conversation and put the date and time and respond to the customer. This was our conversation. This was what we did. This was what you gave us to our everything. Extremely important. Document agreement writing. Conflict resolution. Interesting conversation that has to do with documentation. Interesting conversation that has to do with documentation. Now, let's go back to the conflict. The reason I mentioned the issue around conflict is when you have like a heated argument with the customer. As in when the customer, because sometimes customer says some things that you are angry about. Now that's what I'm talking about. He said something, I'm not denying now documentation. He said something you are angry about. And I want to talk about the fact that when you are angry about anything, it's not really about what the person has said that makes you angry. It's the way you saw what he has said. It's the interpretation of what he has said. Such that if that same thing is said to someone else, it's not likely going to be angry. Meaning that even, and it can be an abuse, by the way. What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? Now, so we've seen waka, we've seen stop, we've seen waka, we've seen stop, we've seen wait. Do you know that? It's only, what? Do you know that? That's waka now. Do you know that? It's because you're an idea that makes you interpret it as waka. But yeah. Someone else in another client will never see it as an abuse. Am I making sense? It's not what the person did, it's the way you saw it and your history. Influence. You say what?
It will also be what was happening at the moment.
It doesn't matter. It's just like there are some food that you crave for that a Chinese will never crave for. Because he has never seen it, he has never experienced it, so there's nowhere the craving is going to come from. I'm basically saying that whatever someone said, be it customer or not, the way I react or respond is based on my interpretation.
Oh, sure. Sure.
So that means I can choose to interpret it the way that I prefer. Do you understand? Because whenever such thing happens, you are either reacting or responding. You are either reacting or responding. Responding is positive, reacting is negative. When you respond, you determine what you want to do. When you react, it's often a reflex action.
With aggression.
With aggression. Now this is not understand the fact that, so even when there's a conflict, I'm talking about a customer now, he has said something and you feel offended by what he has said. Quite frankly, you felt offended, not really because of what he has said, but because of the way you interpreted what he has said. And this is very important in building relationship because sometimes, I don't know if you are talking to you, but the customer will say all sorts of rubbish And then at the end of the day, we come and apologize.
They don't know.
No, they do.
Not all of them.
And I'm not saying all. Now. Some people are too cocky. Their ego will not allow them. But some will come and apologize. Now the reason they are apologizing is because they also know that the way they've spoken, they themselves cannot take it. Conflict resolution. Develop effective communication skills to address any issue or dispute that may arise during trade transaction. Focus on finding a mutually beneficial solution. Training and development. Invest in training and development programs that improve communication skills, feedback position. Encourage feedback from the trade customer about the communication style and effectiveness. Use their input to make improvements and adjustments where needed. Practice non-verbal communication. Pay attention to non-verbal communication, including body language, facial expression. These skills can convey messages and emotions. So, aim to maintain a positive and approachable demeanor. Role play and simulation. Engage in role play and simulation exercises to practice different communication scenarios commonly encountered in trade sales. And of course, continuous improvement. Commit to continuous improvement in communication skills. Seek feedback, learn from experience, and actively work on refining your ability to